The Battle of Bunker Hill did not actually happen on Bunker Hill. It happened on Breeds Hill. The soldiers went to Breeds Hill instead of Bunker Hill. We'll never really know why it's still called the Battle of Bunker Hill. Even more odd, the Bunker Hill Monument actually sits on Breeds Hill where the battle happened. It's this strange mistake in history. Now, this so-called Battle of Bunker Hill was one of the first major battles of the Revolution. During that battle, the Patriot general told his men, "Don't fire till you can see the whites of their eyes." You may have heard of that pretty famous phrase before. He told them that because they were running out of ammunition very quickly and they needed to save it. The monument itself is 221 feet tall and it is 294 steps all the way to the top. So now we're sneaking up on the Charlestown Navy Yard. We're going to see two very historic ships here. This is going to be their permanent homes because they were built in Boston. This first ship that we're about to pass is the USS Cassin Young, great ship that says 793 on the stern. She's a World War II Fletcher-class destroyer built in 1943. One of the last ships to be hit by a kamikaze pilot off the coast of Okinawa. When it hit, unfortunately, it did kill 22 sailors, but it didn't sink the ship herself. So here she stands at the Charlestown Navy Yard as a floating museum. And on the other side of the Navy Yard, we have the jewel of our river, the USS Constitution. Black ship with a white detail, very tall mast. She was built in 1797. She is the oldest commissioned warship still afloat in the entire world. She's most known for a battle of 1812 off the coast of Nova Scotia against the HMS Guerriere. During that battle, the HMS Guerriere noticed that her cannonballs were bouncing off the Constitution. That caused someone to exclaim, "Huzzah! Her sides are made of iron." Her sides are not actually made out of iron, but it did give her the nickname Old Ironsides. Her sides are made out of 22-inch thick Georgia live oak. She sank the HMS Guerriere in only 35 minutes. And at the end of the battle, she had 19 cannonballs stuck in her side. That will tell you how strong of a girl she is. She's fought in 42 battles. She has not lost one. In order to maintain her active duty status, she must travel at least 1 nautical mile per year. And so every 4th of July, they will take her out. She will travel down to Castle Island, where the Fort Independence was, we passed earlier. And she will fire a 21-gun salute from her very own cannons to honor America. Very cool to see her underway. I was working on the 4th of July this year. We got to see her underway. It was really cool. You can actually enter a lottery to be on board the Constitution while she's moving. I think they take maybe 40 people. I've entered that lottery a number of times, have not won yet, but maybe next year. So now we're about to pass the Leonard P. Zakim Bridge. You might notice these two structures on top of the bridge. They are built to look like the Bunker Hill Monument. And the cables that are coming from these structures are to look like the rigging of the Constitution. So it was built with Boston's history in mind. It is the widest cable-stayed bridge in the country. It's 10 lanes wide. Runs right over Charles River. Charles River has been nicknamed the most educated river in the country because it runs right past Harvard, MIT, and Boston University. So quite a smart river. And of course, behind the Zakim Bridge, TD Garden, very important part of Boston today, home of the Boston Bruins and the Boston Celtics. So now we're about to pass the North End with all of these brick buildings right here. So the North End is a predominantly Italian neighborhood. By the way, if anyone's wondering where should you go for dinner, go to the North End. It has some of the best Italian food, incredible Italian restaurants. This is the food mecca of Boston. You have to go to the North End to get dinner, or they won't let you on the plane and go home. Just kidding. So there's actually 108 Italian restaurants at the North End. So you have your pick. And then after you're Beautiful Italian dinner. Go to Mike's Pastries, get cannoli. Mike's Pastries are some of the best cannolis and tough pastries around. That's another pretty famous staple of our city as well. I'll also point out the White Church at the North End. This is the Old North Church. It was known for Paul Revere's Midnight Ride. So the sexton of the church on that April night was told, "Oneth by land, goeth by sea." He saw the British soldiers coming by sea, so he hung 2 lanterns at the top of that church to signal to Paul Revere and 12 other people, who then rode on horseback through the streets, letting the people of Massachusetts know that the British soldiers were coming. Paul Revere got all the way to Lincoln before he was arrested. The very next morning was the Battle of Lexington and Concord, the very first battle of the Revolution, and the first shots were fired. These were called the shots heard round the world. In fact, Paul Revere was at Charlestown, which is to the left side of the boat where the Constitution at Castle Young is, when he saw the Old North Church. So right now we're in the sight line of Paul Revere, which is pretty cool to think about. Also at the North End, there was a disaster that happened here in 1919 called the Boston Molasses Disaster. One of the weirdest stories about Boston history, which is why it's one of my favorites. So in 1919, quite near to here, there was a very large vat of molasses. They had all this molasses because there were 8 rum distilleries around the area that used it to create rum. It was a warm, particularly warm January day. The vat had not been made correctly, the molasses expanded, and it exploded. And 2.5 million gallons of molasses rode down Commercial Street, going 35 miles per hour. You may have heard the phrase slow as molasses. Well, it was not so that day. It was fast. It killed 21 people, over a dozen horses. It destroyed houses and homes. Crazy disaster, but very odd that it was in fact molasses of all things that did all this damage. It took 6 years to clean up all the molasses. Some people claim you can still smell molasses at the North End because it's sunk into some of the original wood. You might just be smelling Mike's Pastries. But the day after it happened, the Boston Herald wrote about it and called it the Boston Massacre. So now we're passing Constitution Wharf, named that because this is where the USS Constitution was built. Today, as you can see, it's a Coast Guard station. So we're passing this white-hulled ship, the Spencer. So these white-hulled ships are for search and rescue. Black-hulled ships are booby tenders. Red-hulled ships are ships that we never want to see. Those are icebreakers. They're going to break out Boston Harbor in case it freezes over. The last time that the harbor completely froze over was in 1904. So we haven't seen them in quite a while. It's some salt water, so we probably won't see them anytime soon. The U.S. Coast Guard was founded in 1790 by Alexander Hamilton. Originally, it was a part of the U.S. Navy. As of 2003, it's now a part of Homeland Security. Their motto is Semper Paratus, which is Latin for always ready.